Hello artists, this is Mrs. B. Welcome to Umaarteng Penmanship. For today's video, I will be doing loose roses bouquet like this. Okay. For our materials today, I will be using my Mungyo watercolor pen set. I will be also using two brushes. These are size 2 and size 4 of my Kolinsky sable brushes with pointed tips. I have here some tissue paper, 2 jars of clean water. For my paper, I will be using my Baohong watercolor paper. This is 300 GSM, 100% cotton. The size of my paper is 7 by 4.9 inches, but you can use any size that you're comfortable with. I have here also a small round container. This is a container of my lotion bar, and I am using a 3H pencil to trace circles. The reason that I do this so that I will know where to place my roses and how big will they be. Also remember to trace very lightly so that it can be easily covered by your paint, or you can erase it easily. I'm mixing permit rose for my roses. So this would be my color of my rose. You can choose any colors that you like. If you can see, I have my size 2 round brush fully loaded of this paint, and the other one is wet, but I will be using these brushes simultaneously. To start a loose rose, I am painting a teardrop shape, and then I added small lines the size of it, and then C shape, and then using my size 4 brush, I'm blurring it out. For now, I'm just using just water. I'm just painting it with water. Remember just to leave some white spaces. Do not paint it as a whole circle because it won't look like a rose. It will look like a big ball of paint, and that's what we're avoiding. We are doing here like an illusion that these white spaces are like the folds on layers of the petals that we have. So imagine that you are looking the bouquet of roses from the top, like you're holding it in your hands and you're looking at it. I can still remember the roses that my husband gave to me last month. It was so beautiful, and I can still remember the fillers that has been added to it, and that's what we are going to do today. While waiting for the first rose to dry, if you could see that what I'm doing in this second rose is that I am using the small brush and adding a stroke, and then I'm blurring it out using my size 4 brush, and then using that small brush again, I'm adding another stroke on another layer, or like when it's getting bigger, so it's look like that it's a fully bloomed rose. That's what we are doing here. I am making an illusion that these are folded rose. If you could see in the top, and you will see those layers of petals. That's what we are doing here. So just keep on adding C stroke with paint, and then blur it out, and you can do this like 2 or 3 times. It depends on you, because once the paint is dry, it will be lighter, so you can add 2 or 3 more layers doing this same technique. So avoid just the full circle, leave some white spaces so that it will look like a rose. On the third rose, just continuing blurring it out, adding a small stroke, C stroke, and then blurring it out. Just keep on doing this 2 times or 3 times. Remember to leave white spaces, okay? Roses is not like a ball of flower. It has layers of petals, and that's what we are trying to do here. It's loose, but then you would see that effect that like when you are looking the flowers down, you would see those layers of petals. Also, remember to stop. You will know where to stop, and at first, honestly, it will be difficult to know where you will stop. So adding circles on your paper as a guide, it will help you to remember that, hey, I will stop here, so I won't add another petal anymore. And when you close it like a broken circle, and also remember that there would should be broken lines, and some parts are not should be painted. Speaking of closing the rose, I am now closing it because I'm already at the edge. So just keep on working on the size of the rose. If you can see, I did not paint a full circle, but if you can see, there are some white spaces, even small spaces that will help to determine or to show that there are some petals and layers of petals going on. So moving to the first rose, if you can see that I painted it earlier, almost invisible. There's no paint on it. So just keep on working on it with small strokes and then blurring it out. And then you can actually do this several times. It's up to you if you would like to make it more vibrant, because the once the watercolor is dry, it will be lighter, right? So depends on you, right? Just remember also to use different colors, not only pinks and red. There's also like white roses and yellow roses that you can also do. Remember last week that I had a collaboration with BianxArts. So there's another Bianca, right? And she's also doing watercolor tutorials. It was my first time to paint a rose in that view, and I'm not comfortable with it. But it's also her first time to do calligraphy. That she showed everyone that she did it. It was so fun. So if you haven't seen that video, please check the description box for that, and you can see that also on the card will show up also. It was so fun, so it's better if you will watch it so that you could also see another way to paint a rose. Also next week I will be painting a realistic rose. So last week was like a different rose that I'm comfortable with, and now on the top view loose roses, and next week I will be painting a realistic rose. It's a little challenging, but I know that you can do it, so watch out for that next week. I'm just finishing the layers of the roses until I'm happy on how it looks. So after this, I will be adding more leaves and fillers. Also, I actually forgot to put calligraphy on this project, but yeah, I will add the calligraphy also on my other tutorials. Right, remember next week that I will be painting realistic rose, so watch out for that. If you want me to paint another item, please comment down below what you'd like to see. I actually tried more of flowers and also different types of flowers. You could also follow me on Instagram, same name, Umaarteng Penmanship, so that you will see what other items that are already painted. I'm also experimenting to do food. I actually trying my best to improve my watercolor painting on food. So hopefully in the next few months I can upload a tutorial for that. I mix some sap green with tiny amount of violet so that I can have like a muted sap green. And also I am painting the leaves here. So for the leaves of the roses, it's not too much pointy, it's not too much rounded, but it's the middle of pointy and rounded. And also the size of it has like spikes that I'm trying to do here on these leaves as well. I will be adding also some fillers that you normally see in a bouquet that will also add volume to our painting. Using the same color of the rose, I'm using it now to make buds, and I'm adding buds on these two areas of the roses, like the size of it. Also, I mix some brown and ultramarine blue so that I can create like gray or small white flowers that I normally see here in the Philippines. Like I already see that kind of flower on bouquets here in the Philippines, but I don't know what it is called. I normally see it, so I'm just painting it out to add more fillers and volume to our bouquet. Using hooker's green and tiny bit of blue, I'm adding some small stems here. Also use this for the stems of the white flowers that I did here, and adding some more stems and fillers to add it more volume. If you don't know what to put in, like there's white space especially on the middle part of your bouquet that you don't know what to put in there, you could also put like small stems like on the green or green and blue or green and violet, so that there would be no spaces. It will be like awkward if there would be, right? So add tiny stems, that will also good. Using one of my favorite colors of green, olive green, I added here some small leaves around the bouquet so that it will add more volume as well. So it will look like small leaves added here. Also added some small stems around it so that we can cover those white spaces. So just filling it up with some of small leaves with pointy leaves but small. There would be always like that in a bouquet. So I also mix hooker's green with ultramarine blue so I can create a different shade of green here, and added some leaves here around the bouquet to add a different color and contrast to our bouquet, and it will look more interesting, right? I also added another leaves here with a reddish yellow so that it can add more interest or painting. It won't look flat and boring looking into like one or two colors, right? So when you look into real bouquet, it has different shades of green, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. I added white flower fillers down below so that to finish it, and this is it. I finished the bouquet. I hope you like it. If you want like to check other videos, you can check these out. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more watercolor, calligraphy, and journaling tutorials and art materials review. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!